Hello and welcome to the North Banks Banter 11. Woo-hoo. I'm your host, Tolly. I'm joined by Steph. Hi, Steph.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm recording this from Ireland, and the quality seems really good. I've not been knocked off yet, which is great. I was a little bit apprehensive, but apart from the fact I look like I belong on radio today, so apologies to that. But having a great old time in Ireland. How about you? You've had a busy time on the small holding.
Yeah, in Norfolk, it's the middle of kidding season. I've just had a very sleep-deprived... I know, right? Hey! I've just had a very sleep-deprived weekend because finished the day job on Friday for 2 weeks holiday. And we do try and time when the goats give birth this time of year, but they all decided to go into labour at about 2 a.m. on Friday night, and it hasn't really stopped until yesterday evening, Sunday evening, and so I'm like, my body's in shutdown mode, but you know.
But all happy births and healthy?
Yes, all pretty good. We had a one or two complications, but yeah, everyone's doing well so far.
Good. Well, we're not going to talk about Arsenal and the Premier League and the Champions League and the FA Cup, other than to say delighted all our players have been withdrawn from international football. Even more delighted that winds up all the right kind of people. Fingers crossed none of them are injured. That's all given. But this podcast is not going to be about that. This is purely a distraction from the intensity of the regular season. And Steph, this was your idea to have this kind of departure from the norm, so will happily hand over to you. What are we doing?
So what we're doing is we actually put this as a vote to our community of followers on Patreon, because we've done this before where we basically create an Arsenal team based on a certain criteria. We did one last summer. So we gave the people on Patreon a list of options to choose from, and they almost unanimously voted for a Banter 11. So what classifies...
Well, what were the other options?
Well, the one that probably came second that we might revisit was a Haircut 11 for the best and worst haircuts that have ever adorned Arsenal players, which I think will be interesting to revisit. What were other ones? The Transfer Rumour 11.
Can't believe they didn't play for Arsenal 11.
Yeah, all of that kind of stuff, especially like classic Wenger players who never played for Arsenal. Yeah, I quite like that one as well. But they went with the Banter 11. So the Banter 11 is essentially players who are just bad, players who rival fans had a good laugh at, players who made hilariously calamitous kind of mistakes or became symbols of a period of failure in the club, and yeah, just ones that, you know, we can even ourselves laugh at because they were perhaps not the best in an Arsenal shirt.
Can I say also that a couple of my options I loathed.
Oh, okay.
Like it's a Banter 11, but there's one in particular who I've given the captain's armband to.
Okay.
I absolutely despised him in an Arsenal shirt, and he went on to justify that.
Right.
Do you have a sense who I might be talking about?
I might have a sense of who that is. I don't know if that will be in the spirit of banter. See, when I found it, making a couple of choices for myself, I've selected a couple of players who are actually all right. It's just that, for one reason or another, it could be particular mistakes, or it could be some off-field antics or something like that. There's a kind of like tongue-in-cheek, you can't help but roll your eyes and laugh because they've done some daft things. But objectively have obviously done maybe quite well as well.
And although it wasn't exclusively a Premier League Banter 11, it almost is. There's a couple of players I've got down from outside the Premier League, but I think that's just down to memory and also widespread social media these days. And
yeah, it's very the whole banter thing is very much a sort of modern incarnation, I think. That probably started, I mean, in terms of banter, the first time I thought of it was, do you remember when Souness signed George Weah's cousin?
Oh, yeah, Southampton.
At Southampton,
yeah.
Ali Dyer. And he came on for like a 10-minute substitute spell and was awful, basically.
But he wasn't even George Weah's cousin. He was just
it was all
blagging
a
it.
prank, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that sort of vibe is what we're sort of maybe going for, although that's quite an extreme one.
Are we doing it? You have the final decision on who gets into the team. Is that it?
Sure, yeah, with just the two of us. And we do have some suggestions from various followers on our socials. So there's a few extra sort of suggestions and voices that can chip in, but we'll see how it goes.
Crack on.
Okay, right. Let's start with goalkeeper choice. My goalkeeper choice, again, he's all right. Like, he's had a solid career, but for a couple of reasons, I've gone with Lucas Fabianski. For the main reason of, one, his nickname,
Flappy
Hansky. Yeah, exactly, because, you know, he wasn't the best. He was a second choice kind of goalkeeper. We had him at the same time as Szczesny. And also the one abiding memory, apart from, and this is where I feel bad, because he did have the penalty heroics semi-final against Wigan at Wembley that got us to the FA Cup final. But what I really remember is a moment where in the Champions League, Arsenal were away at Porto, and it was during Sol Campbell's second spell where he and Fabianski got in a mix-up where they thought we had a free kick, but we didn't have a free kick, and Fabianski rolled the ball and the Porto player took it and scored. And that has always stuck with me because it was just calamitous and, yeah, pure banter. What about you?
Okay, well, yeah. I've written down 4 goalkeepers.
Okay. There was a lot of goalkeeper suggestions.
And I haven't had sufficient ample time to water down this selection. So
Go on then.
Almunia, because he used to give me the heebie-jeebies, and he always looked like he was in a state of shock in goal, quite pale. Might have been him anyway.
So Helen, who is a follower on Patreon, suggested Almunia. And I think adding to the paleness, because she mentioned that he went for that bleach blonde kind of
blonde,
look.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember him walking the dog quite a lot.
Okay, I don't particularly
I
remember
don't know what that's got to do with banter era, but
we always described him as he would make dives for the cameras. So a player would have a shot and he would dive in a way to make it look like he was really trying to get it, but it wasn't really a concerted effort. It was a weird one.
To kind of flip the banter, I have put down Szczesny because of the level of banter that he delivers to Tottenham in particular. I think that's really, really good. But also the fact that you just smoke in the changing rooms.
So, Brody on our Patreon, he also suggested Szczesny for that exact reason,
Oh, right,
smoking in the showers. I was at that game, so he got sent off against Southampton. It was New Year's Day. We were playing Callum Chambers as the holding midfielder, and it was just an awful showing. We lost 2-0. It was New Year's Day. Me and my friend James were not in the best state, it being New Year's Day. And then when we drove back from Southampton back towards London, we had to listen to Tottenham beat Chelsea 5-2 or 5-3 on the radio as well. It was an awful day.
Did Szczesny break both his wrists in the in the gym at Arsenal, or was that Martinez?
Do you know? I don't know.
One of the two of them broke both. I think it's Szczesny as well, just to add to his folklore. I think he broke both wrists in there, which for a goalkeeper isn't a good look.
No. It implies a weakness of wrist, doesn't it?
Yeah. I've got Martinez down as well, but it's more since he left Arsenal, really. The fact that he did not shut up about us for a couple of years after he left and everything, and the fact that there's very few players I enjoy winding up more than him. I've also noted down Vito Minone because I just love his name.
It's a great name.
It belonging more on the set of The Godfather for me, but...
See, I take the name less seriously than that because someone came up with a chant to Chesney Hawk's One and Only. Oh, Vito Manoni.
But... I realise I've written down 5 goalkeepers. I want to give it to Graham Stack.
Because?
because he had that fight went on loan. It was in Holland. I can't remember what team it was away. It's part of the research I didn't have time to do.
Sure.
When the opposition fans came running onto the pitch, and he just like, well, I'm having some of that. I'm gonna deck him. But I don't know. So I'll leave. Any other suggestions? I can't think. Who
Well,
else
so Ben on Patreon, I feel like this. He said, I feel like this is a bit harsh, but Kepa. Oof. I think recency bias might be playing into
let's
that
have
a
this
little
conversation again in 2 years' time, and he may well be.
It could play in because they're actually a lot of Chelsea signings have come into my team or crept into my team as well. So maybe it could play into that. And the other one, so Jazz on BlueSky submitted a full team, and he went with Richard Wright. I just think that was a bit of a flop. I'm not sure it's hilarious. It was just like we bought him and he wasn't great.
Yeah, I can't. Who else? That like Stuart Taylor was there. Alex Manninger was there, but he kind of had a big hand in us winning the league title that year. He went on that. He was in that in the team that like kept like chased down United and kept 8, 9 clean sheets in 11, 12 games.
And was very good.
I can't think of anybody else. Who are you going for?
Well, I've just the things we've said about Szczesny. And here's a keeper who's very good. He's gone to Juventus.
Yeah.
He's at Barcelona
I love him.
currently.
I love him.
Polish #1 for a long time. But those incidents, as well as him smoking in the showers, I've just remembered as well. He was involved in the Koscielny gaffe against Birmingham City in the League Cup final. Not
such a happy moment.
So I think we might.
And Birmingham got relegated that year.
So for that reason, I think we're going to have to go Szczesny. He was also, it should be said, and I should have said this at the start, I didn't want this to turn into the 11 that lost to United 8-2, because that was like peak banter era for Arsenal, but he was in goal that day.
I'll be honest, that game has factored in my selections.
I bet it has. Right, Szczesny in goal. There we go. I also like the fact that he's also good at giving the banter. And every time Tottenham lose, that video
that's why
of him...
I put him. That's why I put him on my list, because it was banter the other way as well.
I like that. Good.
He's a good goalkeeper, and I loved him. And I would have been quite happy for him to stay at Arsenal.
Yep, same.
Next up?
Defenders. Right, shall we do some full-backs? Doesn't really matter if they're right or left backs. You start this time.
Oh, shall I go strong? Okay, some honourable mentions. Andre Santos.
Oh, who said that? Someone said that. Jazz again on BlueSky. Andre Santos. Yeah.
23 games, 2 goals from left back for us. Had completely forgotten he was us. I don't know how that plays into the banter. Nelson Vivas.
Yeah.
Love his song.
What was his song? I
can't remember, but it's...
I wasn't a match goer then.
It's his name would suggest what the song was.
Oh, Viva. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right, fine.
I've got 2 other names down. Then I've got Lichtsteiner. If that's how, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name.
Another one of Jazz from BlueSky.
But for me,
yeah,
my nominee for banter fullback is Carl Jenkinson. Really? Yeah. Now, just because I loved him. Like this isn't he was so the photograph of him as a kid in his bedroom with Arsenal players posters placed it all over the wall. That's just so funny. That's brilliant. But his debut was a 2-0 defeat at home to Liverpool.
Yeah.
8 days later, he played in the 8-2 defeat at Old Trafford. I'm sorry. As far as debut weeks go, that's pretty spectacular.
I suppose it's also what he represents, where Arsenal were at the time. Because we signed him from Charlton.
£1 million, something like that.
Yeah. Poor old Jenko.
I know, and I really like him.
Proper gooner as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, Jazz on BlueSky suggested Lichtsteiner and Santos. I don't know why, but I seem to remember Santos being involved in a halftime shirt swap controversy, and I wonder if it was at United. But that's a vague memory. There'll be people listening going, "Oh, I remember it. Yeah."
Who was the player he swapped with?
No, I can't remember. Was it a certain Dutch striker?
Oh. Well, if it was,
that could play into it. Yeah, and he was crap. Let's face it, he was absolutely crap. Right, I've got two suggestions. Right back, and again, I love him, but at the same time, don't. Emmanuel Aboué.
I mean, he was a bit of a joke for other fans, wasn't he?
Massively. Subbed on, subbed off, famously against Wigan.
Well, my overriding memory of him was a game I was at in the clock end at Highbury against Liverpool, when I think the game ended. I might be wrong on this, but I think the game ended 1-1. But we went 1-0 up, having scored the latest goal in Premier League history.
No, this is Emirates. That's Emirates era.
No, it wasn't.
It was. No, it definitely was. Definitely. Emirates era, Liverpool. Carragher had been knocked out in the game. So there was like a ton of injury time.
And he then conceded a penalty after that.
Penalty.
So we held the record for about 2 minutes.
Yep.
And didn't win the game as a result. My memory is I'm sitting in the clock end watching that.
Okay. I'm sure it was Emirates. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I've got Aboué in.
Yeah, no, I didn't write him down. I'd kind of forgotten about him. Again, seems like a nice character. I know he's had a bit of hard luck since he's retired, but I think he's back on his feet again now.
Part of that team that went on a good run and got to the Champions League final as well, it should be said. So, he wasn't all bad, but when he was bad, it was a joke, literally. I also like the fact, and it's not really Arsenal related, but I always like to talk about it when I mention it, the game where Ivory Coast are playing North Korea. North Korean player goes over to the coach to get some instruction. Aboué goes over and nods like he understands. Oh, yeah. And I just think, he didn't take football that seriously. And I've got one more. For a similar reason to Aboué, because the same thing happened to him in a game as well, is Nuno Tavares.
Oh, Forest.
Subbed on and then off. Or subbed off after like 20 minutes against Forest. And also the way he came across in the All or Nothing documentary. He looked like a player who, I don't know, a bit rabbit in the headlights, maybe not that arsed about things.
It was a funny one, because I thought there was a very good player in there.
There was, yeah. I think
he scored. I know when he went on loan, he did well. Was it in France? He went on loan to Lazio, Italy, and then he scored like a lot of goals early on.
Yeah.
And he's still playing somewhere, I'm sure.
I think he stayed at Lazio. I think he's still there.
All right.
So, yeah, there's a few to choose from, isn't there? The fact that me and you both came up with the Aboué Liverpool thing might put him in the running.
Absolutely. I mean, he was a source of banter for opposition fans as well, or a target rather.
But then I'm also thinking that Santos, your suggestion, and Jazz, on our follower on BlueSky, I'd sort of forgotten about him, but he was crap, and I'm definitely going to find out about that shirt swap thing because I'm sure he was involved in that. So we're going Andre Santos?
Yeah.
Right, our fullbacks are Emmanuel Aboué and Andre Santos.
It's already a very good team, isn't it?
Oh, it's beautiful. I would definitely be confident making a prediction.
Yeah.
Going into a game where this is the starting lineup. Right, this will be a good one. Centre-back time.
It just makes me cross.
Right, let's get this one out the way, because I think it will be an easy choice for the first one. So, follower on BlueSky, Rohan. He was the first.
I have to apologise. You were right. It was in 2011. Aboué's penalty against Liverpool.
Right, Emirates. Yeah, good. Okay. So Rohan on BlueSky was the first person to respond, and he'd created one of these team graphics where you put the player in with the shirt and anything like that. He had this player, centre-back, in every position, even in goal. So he's clearly traumatised by the period that this player represents. World Cup winner, Shkodran Mustafi. I've got him. Have you got him?
I can't imagine anybody picking their banter 11 or worst 11 or, wouldn't have Mustafi as at least a candidate.
Right, Mustafi's in. He's just in. Suggested by so many different people. Yeah, but like you say, World Cup winner. But yeah, we signed him for a fair bit of money at the time. I think it was from Valencia. Wasn't
Did he
good.
play for Everton before us?
Yeah, I think he was at Everton in the Premier League first, and then we signed him from Spain. But he wasn't good, and he was a sign of those teams that were very much scrabbling around for top four and kind of missing out on top four.
I remember he played in the League Cup final against City in 2018, and I hated him for it.
Yeah, you said recently in the preview for our League Cup final recently, let
the ball
bounce
over him.
Aguero pounced. Ugh, terrible. Right, who else you got?
This was the hardest position for me. Gus Caesar from
Yes.
Premier League era and League Cup final fame, infamy, and he did feel like he had it infamy.
So I put him down because he's immortalised in Fever Pitch by Nick Hornby, where he talks about it. I haven't got the quote to hand, but he talks about how Gus Caesar was the best player at school. He was the best player in his area. He was probably the best player in the youth teams that he played for. Even when he signed for Arsenal, probably the best player in the reserves. And then he makes it to the first team, and Arsenal fans basically universally saw that he was not good enough. So it's that journey, isn't it, of you are the best until you're really not the best. And he's immortalised in that book. So yeah, he was my other one.
But I don't want him in the team.
Okay.
Because we've got Philip Senderos. I've written down Philip Senderos. Now I think that's a bit harsh on him. I do think he was actually much better than, he always had a gaff in him, but he was much better than he was given credit for, I think. There's also Pascal Sigan. I mean, a very fortunate player, but okay. Igor Stepanovs.
Ah, yes. Jazz to Hear on BlueSky also said Stepanovs. I don't remember much about Stepanovs.
Well,
I remember Sigan more.
He played in the 8-2, I think.
Was Stepanovs in that? I thought he was earlier than that.
Or the 6-1. Might have been the 6-1.
I think he was in the 6-1.
Yeah, it might have been the 6-1. Yes. Which I was at the 6-1 game.
Nice.
Not a happy time.
No.
Then my next two, Squillaci.
Oh, yeah.
And the one I think is rising towards the top is Mikel Silvestre.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, there's the Man United connection, obviously. Fergie famously said I wouldn't sell that lot of virus, and then he went on to sell us. Then he went on to sell us Silvestre, and I thought, well, that's how's that any better? I hated him as a player. I'm sure he's a lovely person, but really didn't rate him at all.
No.
And he was awful for us. And United fans royally took the piss out of us for buying him at the time. You always say you can always judge how good a player is by how their current team greet their departure, and United fans were wetting themselves. So it wasn't a good start. It was an ominous start. Is it Sebastian Squillaci? I think his name is.
Another one. That era. Ugh.
But there's an obvious centre back who is my captain nominee.
Okay.
William Gallas.
Right.
I loathe that player, captain. I mean, Birmingham. That's St Andrews. That's all you need to say to know the measure of him. Source of utter embarrassment and humiliation and shame, on top of being absolutely crap for us. And captain.
So Ben on our Patreon said exactly that. And in terms of what other fans would mock us for. The tantrum he had. Yeah, we lost that game, and it was an awful day. But like you say, he was captain that day. He should have led by example.
Tony Adams, I mean, Arsenal captain, Tony Adams. What on earth? I'd love to have seen what Tony Adams would have done with William Gallas at that moment. I mean, he would have decked him. He would have grabbed him, picked him up, and thrown him into the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, it was. Do you know how we signed Gallas?
There was some kind of swap deal with Chelsea, wasn't there?
Yeah, for who? Who did we lose? Just to make it worse.
It was too early because it wasn't Cole.
It was Ashley Cole.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought Cole, that was earlier. Well, either way. I mean, Gallas played for Chelsea, Tottenham and Arsenal, which, you know, not many players make that journey. So.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he was awful. I hated him from the second we got him. And I will never, ever forget, we should have won the league that year.
Boy, should we. Right, I think Gallas has to go in. Mustafi was an obvious choice. I think Gallas is absolutely an obvious choice as well for that moment.
What about you? Any other?
No, not in terms of centre-backs. I struggled with that a little bit. I mean, I had Caesar and Mustafi, so, you know, that's fine. And it would be a bit... I'd feel bad putting Caesar in.
Yes, yes.
Cool, right. Gallas, Mustafi, those are our centre-backs.
Oh, I'm not enjoying this team.
No, but, and as I will put out on when we promote this sort of episode, it should make us feel better about where we're at currently. Okay. So with that in mind, let's move forward. Do you want to do the wingers or do you want to do central midfielders?
Oh, hang on. I haven't split them up like that.
Oh,
I've just done midfield.
Right.
I don't mind.
All
I mean,
right. I'm going to move into central midfield because there's a few people who have suggested wingers as also forward, so we can maybe link them together. For me, there's an obvious choice because of the way he joined Arsenal, and that is Kim Karlstrom.
Yeah, I've got him down.
Arsenal signed a player with a broken back, and that's just hilarious. I mean, then he goes on to score the winner in a penalty shootout in an FA Cup semi-final, but does that justify it? I mean, I don't remember him doing it.
It wasn't his fault, A, he had a broken back, and B, we signed him.
No, fine, but it was symptomatic of Arsenal not doing things in a great way at the time. So Karlstrom was also a suggestion. Jazz again on BlueSky. Yeah, Karlstrom for me. First name.
Well, yeah, we signed a player with a broken back. I think you can enough said.
Yeah.
Like source of hilarity for everybody else, and typical of Arsenal at that time.
At that time, another player me and Jazz also agreed on was Matteo Guendouzi, who I felt I tried to pick this whole team. I tried to avoid young players because I feel like it's harsh to maybe pick on some of the younger players. But when there were stories abound that he would turn up to training and team meetings in a onesie, like his pyjamas, doesn't sit overly well. And he played more in that team than he should have done because of injuries.
Again, really good player.
Certainly had the potential to be a good player.
Probably still playing now. Where would he be now? I don't know.
Is he at Marseille? I want to say maybe. I don't know. He's played in Italy and France. I know that, but yeah, he's maybe symptomatic of a certain era. But the onesie story, I don't know why that's always stuck with me, but it has. And then the only other midfielder suggestion we got, we got two actually. So Jazz again, just to finish off his midfield, he said Danielson. Fine, Project Youth wasn't great.
Famous for having a referee track back quicker than him.
Yes, fair.
But did score an absolute scorcher at Goodison Park on the opening day of the season, and his debut. It might have been his debut actually. Top corner job. I was there.
Yeah.
He was a real source of frustration for the Arsenal fan base at the time.
And where we were at, yeah. And the final one, Ben on Patreon said, also it's a bit harsh, Steve Morrow for breaking his arm or shoulder in the celebrations of the League Cup.
Look, this is Banter 11, and I think on that basis alone, he qualifies for Banter 11. Even though he scored the winner in the cup final, and it wasn't his fault that Tony Adams kind of speared him into the ground.
That's what I replied to Ben on Patreon. I said, that's Tony Adams' fault. It's not his fault. But that's what people remember about it.
But Steve Morrow, didn't get the chance to receive his medal. He was on his way to hospital with a broken collarbone or shoulder, whatever it was. Guendouzi plays for Fenerbahce.
Oh, wow. Okay. Right. Yeah.
Is Emmanuel Frimpong, is he a central midfielder?
Yes, he is, very much so.
Right. I had him down, and Denis Suarez.
Oh, God, Denis
Suarez. That's kind of crossing the line between just a crap 11, not a banter 11, I guess.
I mean, Frimpong did more... He did some off-field stuff, getting involved with, like, rapper videos and various things as well. Lived the life of a footballer. And on the pitch, didn't really do much. I remember a really awful two-footed challenge that got him a red card. Might have been against Liverpool. Yeah, not amazing. Suarez was a ridiculous loan. Like, why did we bother?
I have nothing for you.
Which is sort of the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think we're sort of saying that Karlstrom is in.
So... My reading from this is that our central midfielders have been pretty good. Because that's
there's fewer banter players.
Yeah, that's a... I mean, Xhaka could have been one.
Yeah. But he got too good at the end, those last couple of years.
Sorry, he it was like... No, I think Xhaka, like... We always... There was the whole meme, if that was Xhaka,
the Xhaka
red card.
His full name, Granit Xhaka,
and
red card.
What other player got booed off at home by his own fan base, and the response to that from him was to take his shirt off and throw it on the floor?
Yeah.
And went on to become a fan favourite the next season.
That's weird, isn't it? Is that banter? If it had stopped at the booing and the storming off, I think he might have made it. But I don't know. It's almost like his esteem in the game has gone up. He goes to Germany and becomes an invincible with Leverkusen. He signs for Sunderland, and some Sunderland fans online, I've seen it, talk about him as like one of the best players they've ever seen.
Yeah, but it's not about the quality here. Chesney is a great goalkeeper
at Arsenal, and he certainly was. We signed him as a defensive midfielder, and a defensive midfielder he was not.
No. I mean, red cards. Got so many red cards.
Red cards, yellow cards. There was an accusation of a yellow card in a slightly dodgy manner. There was the other thing. Oh, what was it? Just the way we signed him. He was one of the first signings as Arsenal looked to evolve at the end of the Wenger era. That there were reports saying that he was the first player signed basically by the stats team in the background. That Wenger maybe wasn't 100% behind.
Wasn't Mustafi one of those signings as well?
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, I think that's rings.
Stat DNA or whatever it was called.
That's it. Yeah. Ooh, I'm finding it hard to choose. So Karlstrom's in.
Just on the basis that we signed him with a broken back, not
we signed him
because
with a broken back. It's just hilarious.
And he had his great Arsenal moment scoring the penalty against Wigan.
But after that, I mean, Guendouzi. Morrow's got one moment. Does one moment make him a banter player?
Well, again, we've got players like David Hillier and Eddie McGoldrick. Eddie McGoldrick was more of a winger.
Yeah.
I'm putting my nod towards Granit.
Granit Xhaka. We're going to put Granit Xhaka in a banter 11.
Because of the 2-year spell he had where he was.
And think about what rival fans would say.
He was like one of the poster boys for the banter era. Like, think Romero at Tottenham now.
Who Tottenham fans love.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Not now.
They don't think they're quite on his side now.
No.
This season.
Are we going to put Xhaka in? Right.
You're the boss.
Okay, Xhaka's going in.
Who's your alternative?
Yeah, no one's got a strong enough case, to be honest. So we'll go with, midfield. Karlstrom, Xhaka. Right, let's go to the wing. I've got one here, so I'm going to share Jazz Tahira again on BlueSky. He's got this player down as a forward, but I've got him as a winger, and that is Gervinho.
I've got Gervinho down as well.
Seems like an obvious one. I mean, Bambi on ice. Like, didn't know what he was going to do.
Okay, before we decide, who are the others?
So on the other side of midfield, and I don't know if this, because this is my most recent one, is Raheem Sterling.
I didn't even think of him, but yeah.
Joke of a deal, joke of a season. The way Edu and everyone sold it as this opportunity, when you think about how we've strengthened the team in the year after. Raheem Sterling I've got as my left winger. The other one, again, Jazz has got him as a forward, but he's on the other side, is Willian.
Yeah, I've got him down, obviously.
Right, well, that's it. It's the ex-Chelsea, it's the poor performances, it's the fact that they've done it elsewhere. It didn't really help. Yeah.
I've got someone else, and I'll caveat him by saying he got a lot more grief than he warranted.
Right.
He was a lot better than other fans will tell you, but because of the way he was signed, and because of the transfer fee itself, and because of the player that we missed out on because we got him, I've got Nicola Pepe.
Yeah. I think banter-wise...
Yes, and that was the Banter 11, so that's... And I think it's harsh and unfair. He got 16 goals in his first season. I think that's pretty decent.
Well, the one thing that stopped me putting Pepe in was the fact that United's signing of Anthony, their winger, like his output was worse than Pepe's, and
Pepe still got more stick almost.
Pepe got loads more stick.
And it's because we could have got Luis, what's his name? Wilfried Zaha from Palace instead. That's what Emery wanted, that winger.
He did.
And he got the opposite one. And it was everyone involved in the Pepe deal left the club within like 12 months. It was a very...
Not a good look.
Questionable goings on, perhaps. But in terms of banter and other fans...
Pepe.
He got a lot of it.
Well, we haven't really got anything in the way of alternative. The fact that you've said Willian, as of others...
Yeah, I mean, Willian was horrific. Like, he paid to...
I think rival fans would take the Mick Moore out of Pepe.
Yes, they did, absolutely. Because of we paid like... Willian came on a free, didn't he?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
Pepe was like 70 plus million. At a time when we didn't spend that money.
So does the transfer fee alone...
Well, I think it's the response from opposition fans.
Yeah.
I think it was harsh, but that's... I mean, like, it's not about the quality of the player. Willian was awful for us. But...
And Pepe was better, but it's like you say, it's the narrative around him. What a joke. Right, I'm erring on the side of Pepe now. So who goes with him? Because the other big suggestions was Gervinho. If you were weighing up Gervinho versus Willian, who do you think is more peak banter?
Oh, I'd maybe recency bias perhaps, but I'd say Willian on that basis.
Yeah.
I thought Gervinho was a decent player. I don't remember people mocking him that much.
Oh, I do. There's an open goal miss against Bradford in the League Cup that I cannot forget. And he just like
Trossard missed an open goal against Aston Villa that I'm not over yet, that cost us the league title.
Yeah, okay. I mean, the ex-Chelsea thing should not be sort of sniffed at.
We've got nobody from the current squad.
Oh God, no. There's no banter play. I mean, the closest we'd probably have, and even then, like, because he's been a great servant of the team, would be Ben White. But that's purely
that's more him, like
trying to
his
take
character undo the gloves of the keeper,
off and loving a sunbed and all that kind of, not like in football generally, but his output, like a couple of years there where he was excellent at fullback. Right, so we've got Willian and Pepe on the wings.
This is some quality team. This is.
Oh, isn't it just right? This is where the fun starts for me. Strikers. Yeah. Okay. I'll let you go first on this one. Who you got?
Okay, well, I've got 5.
Yep.
So I've got Lee Chapman from before the Premier League era.
Wow.
I like. Yeah, not a lot to say about him other than he was awful. In my memory, I haven't even looked at the stats with him, but he was awful. A proper kind of donkey up front. Sense you got from him. Not beyond that. I suppose next would be Marwan Chamakh and his gel.
Yeah, he's on my list.
Then I've got Yaya
Yep, so
Sanogo.
Jazz on BlueSky came up with Yaya Sanogo. I've got him on my list, but I'm slightly reticent because he was young and just maybe didn't develop that much more. Bit of banter because he scored like 4 goals in an Emirates Cup pre-season tournament and then went on to not really score, but did score in like the opening minute against Dortmund in the Champions League. That some of my friends missed because there were queues at the gates. So, yeah. But, yeah, Yaya was a name that did come up.
I've just thought of a central midfielder, Johnny Jensen, as a banter era Johnny Jensen. Just the one goal. we signed him off that goal for in the Euros, and then he scored. And there's T-shirts. I was there
when Jensen scored.
So, yeah, and I loved him as a player, but
me too.
wasn't. He was. I mean, if he'd been playing in the last 10, 12 years for us, it would have been proper banter material. He would have been. The remaining 2 strikers I've got are the 2 that I would put forward for starting berths.
Okay.
Lord Bentner.
Yes.
I mean,
I think he's one I'm going to strongly advocate for.
Yeah,
definitely.
well, this team was made for him.
Yeah.
A litany of, drunken escapades on car bonnets,
with his
pants hanging out. He's getting
little Lord Bentner. Yeah.
Did he get fined by UEFA for his Calvin Klein?
No, he had Paddy Power boxer shorts on. And when he scored a goal, he basically revealed them to a certain extent, and then was fined by UEFA.
What was it? Adebayor said to him, "I'm only on here." Did he head? I'm only on here because you're crap.
Yeah.
Substitution against Spurs.
Yeah, they had a fight. Did they have a fight?
Yeah, headbutt. And then he scored it. He scored the goal against Spurs from the corner. He ran from the, like, it was just ridiculous. Ran from the sideline as a substitute. Corner taken. He arrives, bang, head, goal. Like, must be I don't know, is it the record for the quickest goal by a substitute? But it's got to be pretty close. Now, the other guy I've put forward is Park Chu-young.
He's on my list.
He only retired in 2024. We signed him from Monaco. He'd actually scored, because I wondered, he'd actually scored 25 goals in 91 games for Monaco, which isn't too shabby. He's part of the 2011 trolley dash reaction to the 8-2. We signed Arteta and Mertesacker, Yossi Benayoun, Andre Santos and Park Chu-young in the last 2 or 3 days of that transfer window. And he was famously in a hotel, and he basically ducks out of the hotel. He was halfway through a what do you call it? What do you call a new player does a medical? He was halfway through his medical for Lille, going to Lille, when he got wind that Arsenal were interested. And he ducked out of the hotel in the middle of the night and came and signed for us. For us, we had him for 3 seasons.
Oh, dear.
He made 7 appearances and scored 1 goal.
That is tragic, isn't it?
Is it banter material though? That's the thing. I don't know.
I think if you asked rival fans, he's not a name that they would come up with.
They won't know who he is.
Bentner would be, up there. But
Bentner's in the team.
Bentner's in the team, definitely.
It's who's playing up front with Bentner. That's
showed his pants, did things to a taxi while drunk, and bantering off Tottenham. But like you say, I think rival fans would come up with someone more like Sanogo or Chamakh, just because, Chamakh's hair alone
and famously one of the two players who chucked his shirt into the crowd away at Reading, thinking the game was won, and then had to go and get the shirt back to play extra
Coquelin
time.
was the other one, wasn't he? I think maybe Giroud was involved in that as well. Honestly, yeah. I mean, sort of take your pick. I mean, I had Park Young because I remember some people saying at the time that we'd only signed him for shirt sales in the Far East, and it was just a bit of a nothing signing. But banter, full on, yeah, maybe not.
Any other strikers?
Yeah, there wasn't many coming to mind. I think time will tell, because there was a part of me that wanted to be really mischievous and maybe put... You know what I'm going to say? Yeah, put Big Vic in there, but
no.
Time will tell.
Just scored a hat-trick for Sweden.
He has just scored a hat-trick for Sweden.
And did you see the hat-trick?
No, I don't think I did, no.
Oh, like...
Good.
He was brought down for the penalty. It was a brilliant bit of play. The one goal he got was brilliant, like really good play from him.
Yeah.
But yeah, unrecognisable, some might say. But
So yeah,
other
I don't know.
strikers, I don't know. We must have had other strikers. Oh, Francis Jeffers.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's certainly seen as like a deal that definitely didn't work out. That's for sure. I think someone mentioned in passing, it wasn't a suggestion, but it was a comment about Carnu, because there was huge debate over his age. But no, he's too good. He's too good. Hat-trick at Chelsea. The goal against Deportivo. I mean...
No, Carnu was
class.
Pretty legendary Arsenal player.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I don't know who suggested he's not part of the banter team.
But beyond that, yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure.
I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people shouting and screaming at the screen or the...
Well, the fact that I came up with Sonogo, you did, and Jazz on BlueSky did as well. Just pure numbers. Maybe Sonogo
we use
makes
him
it.
as well as...
We do, as a sign of, look how
crap
bad
your
it
player
was.
is.
So should we go with Yaya?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Sonogo is in alongside Bentner. Sonogo.
I mean, there's other players like Mkhitaryan who was part of the Sanchez swap, and like United fans bizarrely used him to banter us, but Sanchez didn't play for them.
Nothing for them, and cried and wanted to come back. Regretted what he did day one. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Could play a good piano.
That backfired. Yeah, massively. So, yeah. Right, I think we've got our team.
Oh,
should I recap?
I'm not feeling that bantery.
No, I know, but it should, like you say, it should make you feel good about the team that we've currently got. So this is the Arsenal Banter 11. In goal, Wojciech Szczesny. Our back four of Emmanuel Aboué, William Gallas, Shkodran Mustafi and Andre Santos. Midfield four of Willian, Kim Kallström, Granit Xhaka and Nicola Pepe. And then up front, we've got Nicholas Bentner and Yaya Sonogo.
I suspect that team might get relegated from the Premier League.
Yeah, this is it.
I can't see that team staying up. And I can also see that team being involved in some Bowyer Dyer-esque infighting.
Oh, massively.
Gallas
the disciplinary
and
record.
Xhaka.
The disciplinary record of this team would be awful.
That's another good 11. Yeah. Oh dear.
Cool. Well, I would say that was fun.
I'm not sure. I think I need to lie down.
It was certainly a distraction.
It's reliving that William Gallas moment again. The weight of that moment was clear at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, so much Eduardo suffering that horrific injury, leg-breaking challenge from Taylor, and then the referee being awful, and there was never a penalty. But then Gallas.
Is he captain? Is he your captain?
He'd no business in an Arsenal shirt. But anyway.
There we go.
All right.
Sorry to bum you out, mate.
I'm not sure that has cheered anyone up. I'm feeling a little bit depressed now, actually.
Well, anyone listening, if you've made it this far, let us know on the socials if there's any glaring errors we've missed.
Yes.
We know we've been very Premier League heavy, so maybe those eras before the Premier League where the players sort of jump out, maybe.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure there'll be some glaring omissions when we see some names crop up. But, yeah, the 8-2 and the 6-1 defeats at Old Trafford did feature quite highly in it. It influenced me quite a bit. But, yeah. So, look, I don't even know what day it is. What day is it?
It's Monday.
It's Monday, right. Well, we'll be back on Thursday, I think, to do a look ahead to Southampton in the Cup and to count the walking wounded as they return from their respective international camps. And then it kicks off for 7 or 8 weeks, full on, intense. Anything's possible apart from the quadruple. Travels on. Anyway, listen, I hope you're enjoying your international break, your interlull. Copyright Arsblog, love that name. And yeah, cheers for the chat, cheers for contributing, cheers for listening, cheers for watching, and have a great couple of days and, recharge the batteries in time for the last kind of sprint finish to this season. Come on, you Gunners. Cheerio.
See ya.
The North Bank, an Arsenal podcast. Subscribe, rate and review on your app and find us on your socials at North Bank Pod. Email hello@thenorthbankafc.com and check out our website, thenorthbankafc.com. Produced by the Podcast Company.